There's people out there that are going to take over your country. This is the dunya. If they're stronger than you, they'll come. If they, oh, that's good land. Oh, they've got lots of minerals there. Oh, there's uranium. We need uranium. You know, look at, they don't have any national defense. Nowadays, they do it very, you know, they come saying that they're coming to do this, that, or the other. Because we have this international, you know, all these, you know, the Enlightenment brought all these ideas like human rights and we should like, so now it's just they do it through deception. But it's the same thing. It hasn't changed. It's just different. You know, we're bombing you because we care about you. That's all it is. It's still the same thing. People suffer, people die. But when you're strong, right, Teddy Roosevelt walk tall and carry a big stick. That was what he said his foreign policy was. You know, just so nobody messes with you. So traditionally, the Muslims, that's the way they were. Everybody's in awe of them. They didn't want to attack them. But when they used to go, in Andalusia, they say that the Christians used to send spies down, and they'd ask what they were doing. He said, oh, they're all studying. They get up at night. They do a lot of furusiya. You know, they're doing a lot of military. And they said, not time yet. Sent later, come back. Still same situation, not time yet. It's come back. Oh, now they're partying a lot. They have a lot of, they're drinking wine. They're listening to, there are a lot of poetry recitations, a lot of, right? And they said, it's time. That's what happens. That's why you have to, you know, now you have all these people here in this country who actually, they're just useful idiots. They don't even know it. Because there's countries that really want to see this country go down. There's a lot of people who want to see this country go down. But there are also, you know, there is an idea of be careful what you wish for. Because there's other countries out there that have a very different, I mean, at least you find out about Abu Ghraib. At least you find out about Guantanamo. There's countries where you don't find out about any of these things. And if you try to, they kill you. It's as simple as that. So Allah knows best. We just ask for whatever's good for us, we ask it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for you to think that you can decide what's good for you, it's called istikhara for a reason. You're asking Allah to choose. If it's good, you know, make it happen. And if it's not, don't make it happen. So we don't know. But there's a lot of people that are supporting, they're really what Lenin called useful idiots. You know, they think that they're doing good, but they're actually doing the enemy's work for them. And one of the things that Thomas Sowell said about the communists, he said he read a book called When China Shook the World. There's a couple different books that have that title, but the one he read was written about the takeover of the communists in China. And he said, he read it when he was a young man. I mean, he's 90 now or 91. He said he read it when he was a young man. And he said that the book made the argument that it was through the educational system that they succeeded by getting the children and indoctrinating them. And then when they were ready, they had all their minions. He said he found it hard to believe that. But he said now watching American academia for the last 40, 50 years, he said it actually makes perfect sense. That's how they do it. You destroy the institution, trust in the institutions. You teach them all these ideas to hate authority, to hate, even though when it breaks down, it's quite horrible for people, and in particular for women. When things break down, the Tigray women right now, they're begging for real men because they're being raped horribly. I mean, what's happening in Ethiopia is so beyond belief. It's just beyond belief. You know, you see these things and it's just like where are the human beings? It just really makes you wonder, like, where are the human beings? These poor women. Anyway, difficult times, so my apologies for, it's a little difficult to get through some of this stuff today. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah make it easy for our brothers and sisters wherever they are. There's a lot of suffering out there, and we're blessed, just to be in safety and security. And may Allah maintain it, our safety and security, and may He give us the ability to help others that aren't in these kind of conditions, help them get out of their conditions, inshallah, at least with prayer. So, does alam mean different universes? I mean, obviously there are different dominions. Universe, we use universe to say everything that is in the world that we're in. So this is the mulk. There's the malakut, the jabarut. And then the malakut in relation to the mulk is like a huge desert in relation to a small ring in the middle of it. So it's what's beyond this is so much vaster than this, and this now we know how vast it is. لا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم. I swear by the positions of the stars, and this is a vast oath if you but knew. Now we know. We have, put it this way, we know more about the vastness of the positions of the stars because of telescopes and things like that. It's still we don't know. We don't know how vast this thing is, but it's huge. Why are certain stories in the Quran repeated multiple times? One of the things when you spiritually were children, and one of the things that children demand is that you tell them the same story over and over again, because it's the way that they learn. So they want to hear it again. And I used to read to my boys, and I would get really bored with the stories, so I would switch it up and try to tell it differently than it was in the book. They would get so upset. That's not the way it is. Please read it the way it is. So I would realize that, okay, something else is going on here. So, and then also, there's no replication. They're not repeated. Like Imam Ghazali said, every story, when you see it again, is told in a different way. I'll give you one example. In one narration, it says that Moses threw down his staff and it was a thu'ban. In another, it said it was a jinn, it was jinn, like it was a. So in one, it was a hayatun tas'a. It was a hayatun tas'a. So in one, it's a thu'ban. In the other, it's hayatun tas'a. Well, the difference between thu'ban is like a python. Hayya is a small snake. So there's a difference of opinion about it, but the one I prefer is that it was a thu'ban in its size, but large snakes are very slow, whereas a hayya is very fast. So it was big in its size, but fast in its speed. The others say when he first threw it down, it was a hayya, because he made it something that wouldn't cause him a lot of fear. But then when he threw it down in front of Moses, it was. So there's different opinion about that. But the point is, there's a nuance in it. And there are many examples of that in the Quran, of the stories. What is your opinion on sharing personal reflections on Quranic verses? Sometimes I feel that I understand a deep meaning behind verses, but I'm cautious. I mean, you should be cautious. I would agree with that. We can reflect on the Quran, definitely, but never say this is what it means. Because only Allah knows, and the scholars, we know what the Arabic words mean, but to take isharat out of them, Imam Ghazali in this book goes into detail about that, but you really have to have requisite knowledges. Sahaba were very loath to speak about the Quran. In fact, they asked Umar radiallahu anhu about, they asked him about ab in the Quran. When in the Abasa wa Tawalla, it talks about the foods, and the last one is abba. And so he was asked about ab, and he said, ayu sama'un tudhilluni wa ayu ardin tuqirruni idha takallamtu fi kitabillah bighayri ilm. Like, what heaven would cover me and what earth would hold me up if I spoke about the Quran from my own opinion. Like, he didn't know what it meant, so he just left it. So you have to be very careful, and you really need to learn Arabic and just be careful. Even Arabs who read the Quran, they think they understand it because they know modern Arabic. But when they go into the tafsir, they'll find that it was quite different from what they thought it was. There are many examples of that. And then I have a question about Al-Fatiha. Allah created everything purely from His mercy, and this is a gift. If Allah asks us to worship Him in return, how is His creation then a gift? I get what you're asking. Well, the thing is, when somebody gives you a gift, you feel gratitude. So the thing is, He's not demanding, right? And if you're an ingrate, then, you suffer the consequences of an ingrate. But it is a gift from Allah. So I think what you're saying is it's a gift with strings attached. I think that's the idea. So life is a gift, but it's a gift that does have demands on us. It comes with a responsibility. And for whatever reasons, we accepted it. That's what the Quran says, that we accepted this amana, this sacred trust. So the word is amana, which is a trust. So we use gift more as a, this is the Quranic term is amana, that you were given a trust. So a trust you're responsible for. But it's still, we feel the gift of creation, the gift of life and all these things. And we feel gratitude for that. But this is a trust. We're stewards. We've been put in a trust. So in that way, it's not a gift, it's a trust. And that's what I think, that's how I would answer that. How do we attain peace of heart at times like this? Well, you have to, we cannot allow the world to rip us apart. If you despair, if you get depressed, you're just another victim of Iblis. And we can't. The Prophet ﷺ, when Fatima, it was one of the most powerful hadiths, when Fatima saw him, because he had sakarat al-maut, and she saw him and she just said, wa abata, wa karabata, oh, how terrible this is. He said, no, don't say that. He said, it's all peace after this. And that's why we have to remember, we're not people of dunya. The dunya is what it is. It's always been like this. It's always had these elements in it. And the problem now is television and the fact that you see it from everywhere. So, and it's perfectly acceptable for you to just, I would really caution about watching this stuff, and because it will rip your heart apart. It's, certain people have to know things, and the rulers are responsible for this in the end. I mean, they have the biggest, and that's why I don't pity them. I pity them rather, because it's the rulers that have the biggest responsibility in these type of things. Those of us who don't have power, we can condemn things. Those of us who are attributed to scholarship or learning or something like that, we should speak out and condemn what we can and encourage others. We should encourage our Jewish brethren and our Christian brethren, especially now, because these are violations against holy spots. I mean, on Laylatul Qadr, that's like attacking the Vatican on Christmas, for the Christians, or the, Church of the Sepulchre, we would expect from them. And the tzaddik in the Jewish tradition, he stands by righteousness, irrespective of who it is. So the Jewish rabbis, they know they're commanded to justice. They have the same teachings as we have about justice. They can't side with their tribe when things are just wrong. They have to side with the truth. And then we have to side with them when our tribe is wrong. I mean, that's the way it works. We can't play it both ways. We have to, when our side does things that are unjust, we have to be the first to condemn it. When people who claim to be Muslims attack churches, we have to condemn that, or synagogues. But this is for the Jews, it's a sacred spot also. They're not even allowed by Orthodox Judaism to go onto the Temple Mount. It's illegal in their religion. And they know this. It's illegal by halakha law. And I'm not making that up. They're not allowed to go onto the Temple Mount because they can only go there when the Messiah comes, according to their own tradition. So actually those soldiers are going against Jewish law and desecrating their own religion. So it's a double crime in that way. It's a crime against our faith and it's a crime against their faith. So, but like I said, this is the world. And the Prophet ﷺ suffered greatly, but it doesn't stop you from moving. And he was always hopeful, despite it all. I mean, he was treated terribly, but he encouraged us. We're people of faith, we're people of hope, and also we're people that know that suffering is redemptive, that a lot of the sins of our ummah are being removed through this because we're sinful. I mean, if you look at the Muslim ummah and the types of things that are going on in the Muslim world right now, we have to take some responsibility. But there's also things that are destiny that are outside of our control. There are things that have to happen, and these are in the knowledge of God, and we have to leave it to God. But all of us have our own individual areas, and we have to do that. So don't, it's almost like it's self-indulgent to be depressed. Like they're smiling as they're being carried off to Israeli prisons. I mean, if anybody, they're the people that have a right to be depressed about things, but they're standing firm and they're and I think we should support them in that way, in whatever ways we can. So, what can regular Muslims do in these times of oppression? I mean, again, I think, you can't worry about other people. The silence of other people, that's their own business. You can, if you want to condemn everybody, you can condemn everybody. We condemn what's unjust, but people are in different situations, and they know their situations, and we know our situation. We're fortunate to be in a country right now, as far as we can tell, still, we can speak up. But we have also a culture that's becoming incredibly totalitarian, just canceling people and anything that goes against whatever the zeitgeist or whatever people think is the way we should be. So, but we can still speak, and so we should use that to the best of our ability. But we should also use it with wisdom and not alienate people. And just, we need allies. We need allies. Are there signs of someone being a wali? What was Imam al-Ghazali's view? I mean, the greatest sign of wilaya, first of all, you should really consider every human being a potential wali. Because Omar was a wali in the knowledge of God when he was worshiping idols in Mecca. So you just don't know. The Moroccans say, that every person you should think of as a potential wali, because you just don't know. But wilaya amma, every Muslim has that. Allah waliyul ladina amanu. So wilaya amma is for every Muslim. Every Muslim you should consider a wali, even if they deviate, because they're ظالم لنفسه. ثم أورثنا الكتاب الذين اصطفينا من عبادنا فمنهم ظالم لنفسه. بدأ بهم, Allah began with them to give them hope. So even deviant Muslims that still believe in Islam and say they're Muslim, we should consider them having a portion of wilayah. But the wali that I think there you're asking about is a sanctified soul. Those are very rare, the biggest sign is istiqamah. When you see real uprightness in their character, they don't backbite, they don't those people are quite rare. And we should consider them people. But nobody knows who the awliya are. The Moroccans say Allah hid 3 in 3. He hid His awliya in His creation. So you don't know who they are.